Hey everybody, and welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jack and Letter still in Lake Jackson, and we survived Thanksgiving. So this one's coming from my little shitty Cali kitchen. This is going to be a nice, quick, done and dirty one. A lot of people asked me for it before Thanksgiving. I apologize. It'll be perfect for your Christmas gathering. So this will be great, especially when you get it super cheap like I did. I found it at H-E-B, so that was very cool. So before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y stuff, get little notifications down, and that one, it's a bell. Ring that one, and you'll get these whenever we can get them as close to Tuesdays and Fridays as possible. All right, and then also there's a link down the doobly-doo. We got all that kind of merch. I don't have anything within swinging distance. Merch. Use the fake hand. This is what I call my fake hand. But we have pot holders, all that kind of stuff, spoon, spatulas, flippers, and our apron that I'm not wearing because, again, it's cold and I just got in, so I apologize. So, link down in the doobly-doo for that, and let's just get into the food. Alright, nice simple one here. You're going to need a pork belly. Now, I lucked out and found this at H-E-B for like $7. It was a couple weeks ago. It's been frozen. Let it thaw. Works perfectly. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil. Don't have to do it. This is a very fatty meat. You're going to want some barbecue sauce. This is Stubbs, best stuff in the world. I use the sweet heat stuff. Absolutely amazing. You might want some salt and some pepper on this. I'm going to use a little bit of pepper, but very little salt. Garlic powder, because that's just us. Some paprika, just because I get to use paprika. I'm going to use seasoning salt instead of the regular salt. I'm not a big fan of salting stuff, but this just requires it. You're also going to need some kind of pan, unless you have one of the racks, and you're going to need to be able to catch the grease underneath it. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 400. That's what that was. And beep, 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 yeah. All right, get that set to 400, and then we're going to set on this. Now, you can see it's got a skin side, and then the meat side. We're going to work on the skin side. If you don't take and get a nice sharp knife, shout out to Andy, and you don't cut it, that fat can like start to cook and curl up, and it kind of makes the cooking weird. So cut it. Don't cut it all the way through. You can. I just found it's easier to work with one piece for a while, and then we're going to cut it later while we're cooking, and then get it and just cut it right across the other side. I try to cut it just deep enough to get through the skin and the fat that's on there, but it catches it and holds all the seasoning and stuff because it's a very fatty thing. This is something you're going to want to drain every time you check it, but you want it to be able to hold all the seasoning and stuff, so that helps. So go ahead and put this in a baking dish or on a rack. Again, if you have a rack, it works better because it drips all that grease off, but I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to put it in one of these baking dishes here, okay? So now, I like to do this just to keep the seasoning on it, but again, it's really fatty, so this is just complete extra work, and I get to use my little brush thing. I don't get to use that very often. So give it a little brush of this. Put way too much on here, as a matter of fact, but put it on there. I'm going to hit it with the seasoning salt. I'm not going to add the pepper until later because pepper can burn. Again, Andy pointed that out to me, and I've used that ever since then. The garlic powder as well. Let's go ahead and put that on there now. It's up to you what seasoning you want to put on here. The only one that's really required is the salt and the paprika. The garlic, put on just about anything, mostly just keep the Texas skeeters away. But put all this stuff on here, and then give it a brush where it doesn't look like it's got the pox, because that paprika gives it very spotty look. See? So I just get this, boom. Oh, now it looks all uniform and cool. Looks like it's been proper seasoned or whatever. Now you could probably marinate this. I want to try that, but because of the fat and how much fat comes off of this, you'll see keeping the marinade on it or whatever, or in it, might be a little pain in the ass. You might need to like inject it or something to get that in there. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here. We're going to put it in for 35 to 45 minutes. Somebody said an hour. I think that's way too much. We're going to pull it out, check it for our internal temperature, but 45 minutes should be enough for your initial cook here. So not 30. Oop, not 30. We're going to put it in for 45. There we go. And then we're going to check it. So I'm putting on my fake hand. I'm going to show that off. And pull this out. Now look at all the fats in this, like holy crap, like, and then the blood and the stuff coming out of the top. So I'm going to go ahead and check this. As long as it's at least 160, 165, we're going to go on to the next step. This is not done at 45, so it's not just fire and forget. It's 45 minutes, so it takes a little while. But now, take this. You want to go ahead and hit it with your barbecue sauce now. You can do the pepper here as well. Just put the barbecue sauce on it. Remember, if you put this on early, it like crusts up and you get that burnt taste on top with the meat barely cooked underneath. So give this a nice slathering. You can hit it with your brush and get it all nice and put it on there, but it's going to put more of that fat everywhere and just kind of run it everywhere. So be very careful when it comes off the side. So I like to leave it on top and let it cook down into there. Put it back in for 15 minutes with the barbecue sauce on it. Pull it out. Look at this. Like it filled back up with that stuff, and that's all the barbecue sauce is run in there. So now take your knife and gently and cut it along the lines you did before. Okay, remember this is very, very warm. This is very hot. Again, the pan is hot, the oven is hot. You can burn yourself very easily with this. The tongs help a lot to be able to grab. If you don't have a big knife and you just want to be safer, use the scissors. A lot less cutting, a lot less chance to dull your knife on the bottom on that pan or whatever, and it's super quick and super easy. So once you get it all cut up into those cubes or whatever, you can cut it down to smaller if you want it. I don't mind making it big here. I hit it with more of my barbecue sauce and then our pepper. So I get it all do it. Oh, you need to set it on broil. I put it broil and put it on high. That's where it's going to give us that crispy edges on there or whatever. And we're going to put it in there for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, depends on how crunchy you want your burnt stuff. I'm not a big fan of burning it, so I'll put it in for about 7 minutes. It'll lightly burn the edges, cook the rest of it. Like I said, at 165, it's already cooked through, so we're ready to go. But to get that quote-unquote burnt ends thing, so get your barbecue and your pepper, give it a nice big stir in there with all those. Again, if you got a tray, these start looking gorgeous because all the fats run off of it or whatever. So take it, put it back in there. Again, I put mine in at 7 minutes, checked it was getting pretty close, so I gave it another 2 minutes. So look at this, you see we're starting to get the dark edges on there. If you want more, leave it in for the full 10. You can even go a little bit further if you want, but I don't prefer it overly burnt, so that's just me. This is great for like meal prep. If you got to bring something, or like, hey, bring a meat dish or whatever, straight up, like this is great, like burnt ends. This is very something from the barbecue culture, especially here in Texas. Like, hey, I found these extra burnt pieces that we weren't going to turn in at the judging or whatever, so here everybody gets those. So it turned into like, oh, it's this extra stuff. Now it's the thing everybody asked for. I did some in the air fryer. These turned out really well. I love doing them on a smoker, on a grill, but this is a way to do them in the house. If you absolutely got to just do them and you want a little more control and it's in the house and you're not freezing your nubs off because it's Christmas time and you're trying to cook this stuff outside, this is perfect. Holds up really well. The trick is getting the meat under our budget here. Like, we try to do everything under $10, right? And there were some of these that were packaged at $15 and $17 or whatever, but I lucked out and found it at $7, so I could use the rest for my barbecue sauce, and then we were set. The cheaper you get it, the better. Coupons, you can get it better. H-E-B was great for this. A lot of the other places that sell meats, just you cannot afford it for this budget. So you got to try this one. There you have it, folks. That worked out perfect. They're squishy, they're chewy, they're not healthy. I mean, that's a lot of pig fat, so be very careful with that. But it is delicious. It's great. If you do it differently, want to see me do it differently, I'd love to smoke them or put them on the grill stuff. But this is a good way to do it here. We've already done it on the air fryer, so this is revisiting another one. But we just candied them there. We're putting them in the oven, so it counts as 2 videos. Either way, I'm pretty sure Jack will put a link up for the air fryer one. But how cool is this? If you want us to revisit it, you got a different way to do it, let us know. Put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on like social media, Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon, where all those are Limb Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can also find us on Instagram at Limb Between. Had to shorten it down over there. You can find me, Oswald Nerdy, on all those, including TikTok, where I'm over there usually doing action figure reviews or just being nerds and doing LARP stuff, or over on Twitter, where again it's action figure stuff, where I'm usually over there. Instagram, it's usually painting miniatures and doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm on there as well. So I will see y'all next time. Y'all please be safe, and I'm going to start into some really big Christmas stuff soon, so this will be cool. See y'all next time. Y'all be safe.